So thanks everyone for showing up. My name is Martin Ndeto, and I'm here today to talk about Beav3r. So I want everyone here has been working with agents, at least most people, if not with agents, with AI, and we're heading towards this cycle where the agentic web is said to have more payments and more uh, well, a bigger presence than humans on the net. That's really the agentic web. And I've been looking at some of these, foundational pieces needed. And that's something I think I want to have also the conversation with you guys. If you want to imagine an internet where the primary user is an agent, there are things that you have to do as a human that that agent needs to do. A good example is payments. That's already solved. How do we solve that? X42. An agent can do that, right? So we're looking at a bunch of new layers of infrastructure that are meant to facilitate the future of an agentic web. And one of the key issues I've come to see, and maybe you guys can also tell me, is we have AI systems that can pretty much do anything at this point, but you don't really trust them to do everything, do you? That's the idea. That's where Beav3r comes in. AI systems cannot really be trusted to make some of these decisions. And if you want to hard code them, it becomes a big problem. So that's why we introduce Beav3r, which is meant to solve this problem of being that layer of infrastructure that provides the trust. So before we go on further and I show you about Beav3r, how many of you have Android phones? Amazing. Please go ahead and download this. So just to reiterate, we have autonomous systems acting everywhere, but we are lacking some of the layers that bring in human intent. You need to approve when an AI agent wants to send money. Somebody told me recently that an AI agent was working and it followed instructions and bought a book worth $10,000 to finish its task. Uh, we've seen these cases. There's this head of safety, I think, at SSI Labs. She was working with OpenClaw and she's just texting it, stop, 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 stop. It's not stopping, right? And a key thing here I want us to really differentiate is there's a difference between an AI asking permission to do something and it having the authority to actually pull it off. So difference is I want to do this action, but I don't have the authority, or I want to do this action, but I have to ask. So unless let's imagine this like a blockchain transaction. You need to have a signature with your private key for that to actually happen for whatever transaction you're sending. It is a requirement. We're thinking about the same with AI. There needs to be some sort of valid approval or verifiable signature that allows you to proceed ahead with what you are doing. So yeah, I want to do very little talking. Just download that app, install it for now. Let's just go through these slides quick and then we get into Beav3r immediately. So yeah, as I was saying, that's the problem. AI agents can act, but they can't operate on blind trust. Critical actions require some sort of human content, either some logic you're gonna call somewhere, some policy you've stored somewhere, or you can just literally push it to a human to either press approve or reject. That's what Beav3r does here. So it sits, I don't think, yeah, let's go through this. It sits between what an agent wants to do and what it should do. It should send money. It's going to stop when you're using Beav3r, and it's going to request for some sort of authorization or approval based on whatever policy. And then depending on what it gets back, approved, denied, or anything, your autonomous system can go on. So for those who have the app, I want us now to go ahead and I can literally just show you how Beav3r works along with the SDK and also with the OpenClaw integration for whoever has it. So yeah, sign up, visit dashboard.beav3r.ai. You should be able, just select GitHub or Google unless you want to send me some Sepolia ETH with the wallet. I don't mind. Can be a Sepolia well. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in. Has everyone managed to get an account? So as you go in, one of the things you'll see is you'll be able to create a project. Let me see whether we can do this as we proceed. Let's try this. There we go. So you create your account, create your first project, and the first thing you need to do after that, you go get an API key. So generate that API key, put it somewhere safe. Yeah, you guys are probably gonna use this. Then after you've generated the API key, you can open the app. Create a pairing session. Now, if you don't have an Android, you have this option of using the browser as a demo signer. But if you do have the app, just create a pairing session, open the Beav3r app. It will connect, just go to the settings. I think there's somewhere on the settings you should be able to scan with the camera, the QR code that's going to come up there. If so the first, is everybody there with me? Have you managed to create an account, pair your phone as a signer, give it permissions? Okay. Log in, go to integrations, generate an API key, and pair a signer with your phone. Amazing. So if you can access this chart, I'll put this here. I don't know whether you'll be able to get it, but the first way you can use Beav3r. So what we've done here is, let's start there. You have created a project with Beav3r. It gave you an API key and you've linked an account. So now your Android phone is, well, it could be iOS, but let's just say your phone right now. I'm just having an issue publishing with Apple developer. Everyone knows that process. But when you have the app, the demo flow for the web will not be available. You will be using an approved device. The reason is because the approval is specifically tied to your device and a specific approval. That's what makes this verifiable. When I say Beav3r gives you verifiable approvals, that's what it means. You sign with a specific device, and that's the only way you can authorize an action. So the API key, on the other hand, you use it in several places. The first place you use is assume you're building your own AI agents. We have the Beav3r SDK. It's available publicly. You can find it. Let me see. It should be somewhere. Wow, how do you hide this? So the first one is the SDK. You can find this here. And using this SDK, you're able to make a Beav3r request. You import the Beav3r client. You initialize it with the API key that you've been given. This is provided. This is the server that you'll be working with in production, api.beav3r.ai. And then when you work with this script, you're able to actually route your requests through Beav3r. So this is what's happening here. You initialize the client using the API key, and then we send a request. Now, this is an agent that wants to get a decision. It wants to send USDT, and it's going to use the Beav3r client to see whether it's, to get approval for this action or not. And I would like somebody to just run it and let me know if you get any notifications on your phone to approve it. But I will also run it. I'm not sure how I'll be able to share this, but let me set it up and then I can show you. But for now, does everyone have the link to this? So I'm going to set up a new one live as we work here. I'm just going to set up a new API key. I'm going to have it here on the script itself. I'm going to set up a signer as well with my phone. So where's everyone? We still have to add a policy before we can see the notifications. So let's go here to payments.us, send USDT on policy. So first of all, I think Nimekimbi, I'm not getting a lot of feedback. Has everyone set it up? The signer? What about the script? Okay. So for the script to work, let's set up the policy as he distributes the link, okay? So let's go together on this. Go to your policy studio on the dashboard. You can just check my screen too as well. And the policy we want to add is sending USDT. So payments.send USDT. We are going to say that requires approval. And we add a condition that says if the amount is greater than 10, we require approval for this action. So I'm just going to leave that there for now. Set that up, save that policy. And if you're able to run that script, so I've just decided I'm going to set up a branch, a repo. You can download it, install dependencies, and replace your API key. That's much, much faster. So it is to help us run the SDK. Just clone this repo, install the dependencies, replace with your API key, and then you're good to go. Yeah, you can use the signer, the browser demo. Go to the integrations, and then you'll see, yeah, Firefox signer. Yeah, you'll use that. You can sign with that. You've already set it up. So it should just be Ndeto/Beav3r demo. I don't think I can open up my socials while I'm sharing the screen to share this link. But yeah, if you just clone that, you should be able to use your API key. Has anyone managed to get any prompt so far? Yeah, let me share that with you right now. There it is. So instead of just getting that script, clone that repo, do npm I. I've uploaded some test API keys, but they don't work. Don't try them. There? Yeah, for the API key, use the API key that you generated from your projects. I think that's the only thing you have to change in that script. npm I, and then you can just run it with Node. Let me see. I should have. Yeah. Yeah. I've sent the command. Your command pia ni anyway, ni hapa. Nyinyi dev. That's how you run into this command after you've this one here. Has anyone had any success? Rejection. You have to set up a policy, otherwise you'll get a rejection. This is the policy. Let me show you the policy again. You have to set up this policy. For that, payments.send USDT. And what you're saying here is, when you see this action, payments.send USDT, you do what? Require approval if the condition, that is the amount, is above 10. And then you create that policy. Just like that on the screen too. The code. Or this one. This one up here. Yeah, the Git, the repo I sent, there's a repo I've sent, the Ndeto Beav3r demo. You just download the install the dependencies and PMI, and then run with this. So did it come to your phone? Like it popped up, told you need an approval. There we go. So set up a policy, replace your API key on that demo script I've sent. And if you run it, you should get a notification. If you're using the browser as a signer, you should see it in your inbox. So for the ones who've managed, to show just, it's not only the human aspect, as you can tell now, in some ways, if you don't want approvals, you could just say, you could auto-approve, meaning the moment your AI agent hits Beav3r and the action policy shows, hey, this is under 10 USDT, you can send, it's just going to continue immediately. It only bothers or asks for these verifiable approvals when you're in the middle, when a policy requires you to forward it to a human. So anyone else? I need like 5 successes before we go on.
The special number of person that needs. And that exploration, everything's there.
So let me move on. What's a good idea of what Beav3r is now that you've used it? Control approval plane. Okay, so the idea here is that Beav3r is the AI infrastructure that allows AI to get approvals and fill in human intent in between their actions, right? And we've used it with an SDK. Right now, the usage with the SDK is pretty much the same flow you'd follow when you're working with an AI agent. You'd just import the Beav3r SDK and then make a request with an API key, and then it will get its response and continue. So Beav3r is the platform itself. The SDK can work with any AI agent, but what about an actual existing working AI agent like OpenClaw? Can it work with Beav3r for you to approve what you're doing with OpenClaw? The answer is yes. So how that works, the good thing is that OpenClaw is open source. So even this extension is open source. You'll be able to just use it as long as you have an API key from Beav3r. And OpenClaw usage will always be free for the API key. No one's gonna make you pay for that API key. But this bridge basically runs on your computer and it connects OpenClaw to your Beav3r instance. So picture this, you have a Mac Mini somewhere running your OpenClaw, even your computer. It's running somewhere, it's connected to your Telegram, it's connected to your Discord, and you can just keep chatting with that AI agent. However, it needs permissions sometimes. It needs to access a folder it doesn't have permissions. It needs to delete a file. It needs to just do some sort of privileged action. Normally, how this works is that OpenClaw will just send you a prompt to your UI, or you can approve with Telegram. It will give you just some 6-digit or 8-digit code to like paste or whatever. But like what Beav3r does, this bridge allows you to use OpenClaw with Beav3r, and you're able to just approve all your actions as you work. So I'm just going to demonstrate exactly how that works. So first things first, OpenClaw is running on my computer. It's already there. What I want to show you is just how simple it is to set this up when you have OpenClaw running. So I have an instance on my machine that I use, yeah. But you see, that's the thing. I mean, you will be worried about security concerns, it accessing files that it shouldn't, but that's what Beav3r is for. If it tries to read any projects that it shouldn't, I'll just get a notification, or it has to send a prompt. Yeah.
See the way we had the payments of send your city policy defined.
Yes. How do we define the OpenClaw policies?
So where the policy is hosted.
Where is the policy hosted?
So you see, you've given us a repos clone there.
Yeah.
But then now those specific for transactions, using transaction.
Yes.
That, well, maybe so let's say for example the files one
The files one. See, that's the idea. You create your own policy. Now, if you're an individual or an AI department and you have policies on how AIs should act, that is somebody who will come and put these policies. It is arbitrary. You can put in anything you want there. The idea is just to have that policy engine working. You can set your custom policies and approve against them with your APIs, with the API keys.
Is where from your experience, I think it's the level right now.
No, really, it's on the platform Beav3r. The Beav3r server is what is hosting all the policies that you guys just created.
We published the US.
How did you? Maybe, yeah, we might not. Maybe I'm not getting it. Yeah, let's come back to that. So for this extension, for this bridge, it's very simple. Have I sent the link? Yeah, I've sent the link. This is the setup, one click setup. Copy paste that. You guys have your API keys, Badu. And you come to the terminal, you paste, and then you just use your API key. Let me show you. I think I've generated like 5 of them so far. But let me get this one. And then you replace the API key. That's it. If you do that, it will download the repo, set up a whole Docker container, and set up the whole bridge that will be sending all these requests to your Beav3r instance. So this is failing because I think I have a bridge already running. Yeah. You have a question? Okay. So yeah, that's and then just for simplicity, what we've done with these policies is for OpenClaw, you don't need to set up custom policies the way we just set up the payments.sendUSDT. You can just click here, scaffold the OpenClaw policies, and it will scaffold everything for you. Because yeah, this will be crazy trying to understand, that's what the bridge does. It allows you to figure out what OpenClaw is doing and then forward that request to you. So with this policy setup and the API working, I think I can just share my phone and show you exactly what the flow is like. Can share my phone screen in a bit. Okay. I want to show you the flow between my OpenClaw and so this is where I talk to my OpenClaw, and it's the way I've set it up is I've set up a policy to ask me for any regulated input, even something as simple as reading a file. So I'm just going to ask it to tell me the current directory, this is a terminal command, run a pwd. So I could be somewhere getting a haircut, telling it to work with this repo, do this, do that. Then a Beav3r approval shows up, tells me what does it want to do, pwd. I'm going to approve that. And OpenClaw is going to continue doing what it's needed to do. So this is really the power of Beav3r, if you ask me. For anyone who's working with personal AI agents, production AI agents, you get the ability to have a fully remote autonomous workflow, because the key constraint I was finding as I was working is that I need to be on my computer to approve this. And if I'm not there, it just beats the whole flow of me being able to work while I'm taking a walk, while I'm getting something done. And that's how I started validating and working with Beav3r. And it gives you this fully autonomous workflows. It needs access to this file. It needs to run this command on the internet. It should ask for permission because we all know that the alternative of letting it have permission to do whatever it wants is a no-go zone. So that's a typical flow with Beav3r and OpenClaw. I don't know whether I can, let me ask it to read a privilege, something like my root folder. It should not have permission to read my root folder, right? So I'm going to tell it, return the number of items on my root folder. How do I move this? So I expect it to ask me for permission. So I think it'll probably do a bunch of them. The first one is listing and then maybe add them up or something. Not sure. What is pending? It's already approved. So this is literally my workflow when I'm away from the house. It's just going to send me a request. I have to force it to do things sometimes, but it does it. Let's see. Okay. This is why we can't trust AI. It's not waiting approval. Okay, so let's do a PWD. That's the one should send. You see, it was lying. When I ask it to read the folder, it actually does. So anyway, that just proves my point. We can't trust this thing. You need to be on AI's case for it to do what it needs to do. And when it comes to critical actions, that's the trust layer and authorization layer. That's where Beav3r is operating. And yeah, it's gonna go deeper, but for now, this is for all the developers, anyone who just wants to improve their workflow, enjoy the bridge, um, enjoy the SDK free usage while it's there. Yeah, I think I can always say this will always be available for devs, at least for personal use. No one's gonna make you pay to use personally. So yeah, that's Beav3r, guys. I'll take any questions if you have. Yes.
Yeah, then I think your your mic is still open.
Yeah, my mic is on.
Um, so last time when you showed me this, you mentioned about plans to have it used by, I guess, more like executive function or institution.
Yes,
That,
enterprise, yeah.
yeah, that's that use case. I thinking.
You want me to give my IP?
Oh,
But no, it's okay, I can. But I mean, this is a very simple flow I've demonstrated to you guys. You've seen the SDK. Doesn't matter what you're coding, autonomous or not, you can use it to approve whatever you need to approve, the sensitive actions. It's just that simple flow with the SDK. Then I've shown you another use case. It's working with a real agent, OpenClaw. It's working well with OpenClaw. So that means you can now use it with your own personal AI agents. But now let's look at critical workflows. One of the guys I'm working with is working on AI agents that are supposed to do merchant activities for their users because they're a huge fintech already, right? And part of that is being sure that this agent cannot refund or withdraw money without the merchant's approval, which is key. And that's where Beav3r comes in, because you can either step in and start building this whole infra layer or just use the SDK to link. On top of the SDK, it works with LangChain. It works with N8N. It basically has any integration point you can think of for autonomous agents. So what we're providing for you ultimately is you can link it with any of the agents you're building, the frameworks and SDK, things like OpenClaw, but we give you that same assurance that your actions will be evaluated by a proper policy or a human. And yeah, there is a bunch of enterprise use cases that come into that. Yeah. Yes.
Did you share your screen, the dashboard?
Yeah.
Yeah, so policy studio, add a policy, the action, where do you get actions? And where do you define them?
It's arbitrary. You define it. Like you see, there's two. If you see here, these ones have all been scaffolded by OpenClaw, right? But then there's this specific one that we created that works with the SDK. So if you look at payments.sendUSDT, that's what we just specified here. So this can work with your system. Whatever action you want your system to evaluate, you can put it there. Yeah, as long as you use the SDK. The SDK is the guidance now. Because if you use this guard and wait, you have to pass an action type, a payload. And then now in the policy, that's when you like, hey, if the amount is above this, do this. This one that shows payments.sendUSDT is here. It's right here. Payments send USDT, that is going to be the action, require approval. You can allow it to or deny automatically, but if you do require an approval, it goes to the signer that you linked, which is your phone.
I guess that's where the confusion was coming. I thought the policy had a bigger file than this and you just calling it.
Yeah.
But this is it.
Yeah, this is you actually just specify your own policies. The only thing we scaffold for you is OpenClaw or any specific integration with a specific agent. We can scaffold, but what we give you is an open stage. Create whatever policy you want. You want to call this send USDC, as long as in the code and the API, you put what is expected. Yeah, you come and make sure it's USDC here. So you can really just integrate it into most of your systems.
I thought there was like an MD file or Python and JavaScript file that had all these details on what the policy was.
No. The only one that lives somewhere on a file is the OpenClaw ones. Yeah, those ones live somewhere on a file. Yeah. But yeah, if this could be deploy.production, deploy.dev does automatically production, you get a notification, shows you all the details of what you're approving. And then yeah, we capture it. Another case for the enterprise that you're asking is just something as simple as being able to verify that this specific action for this AI agent was signed by this specific phone is also a huge security improvement. That's why I say the web signer is just a demo. It's not going to be in production, but Apple developer account was problematic. Had to find a way to show this. But yeah, Any other questions? I guess that's it. Thank you.
So much. So guys,